Behold Aelion, a magnificent world, rich in both beauty and abundant resources. Cities have risen, prospering beneath the celestial fortress, the protective structure forged by the great god Eli. Alongside the cities, temples have been erected by the people of Aelion, honoring their gods. But we have failed our people. Ages of peace and prosperity have blinded us to the dangers of the universe. Aelion's bounty draws invaders from other worlds. Powerful armies descend upon once peaceful towns and villages. They burn and destroy, killing all who resist and enslaving those who submit, turning them into mindless monsters. No quarter is given. Defeat means the end for Aelion and its people. Our armies suffer enormous losses. Valiant mortals are weak and untrained. The immortals, our greatest strength, are all that hold the enemy back. But they are too few, and our enemies grow stronger. I feel a great darkness closing in. The future of our world is in peril. Millions call out, praying for heroes to protect them. Answer Aelion's call.
Hello and welcome to the Streams of Epic Adventure. I'm your host, Foglata, also known as the Captain of Fall Damage, and I'm joined tonight by Soren, who will be a few moments late, but she'll be here, and Smitty. Hey, how you doing, Smitty?
Good evening, your friendly neighborhood Smitty here.
So tonight we're also joined by a very special guest, Ed Orr, who I met a long time ago. He's known as Screenager. He actually had me on one of his shows once upon a time, so I thought it'd be fun to return the favor and have him on one of my shows that he kind of inspired me to get off the ground and go do. So, welcome, Edward.
Good morning, everyone. The sun is shining somewhere in the world, I'm sure, and it's going to be a lovely day for me, but it's currently 4 o'clock in the morning, so I've got to be really quiet. Hopefully I won't wake anyone up.
Oh, that's terrible news. Yeah, 4 o'clock, he woke up for me. I feel very, very, very impressed and honored that he would choose to be here.
I'm currently bathing in coffee.
Yes, I imagine that would be a necessity at this point.
I would imagine the IV drip is not too far away.
I got me tied to the desk, but the important thing is that means I can't get away for the next couple of hours, so we might as well go and kill something in Skyforge.
Alright, so today we are actually playing Skyforge, and I pulled in one other special guest who was kind enough to donate one of his accounts that he had created, because we had a little bit of a mishap with the European and North American servers and the very confusing social system. So today we are joined by Mr. Fallen Angel, who will be pretty much here on voice, and then eventually when we get the 5-man instances open, we'll be doing that with him.
Hello, everyone.
So that's pretty much our team today. I do have some special thank yous. I need to say a special thank you to Jerome, Ismina, Donna Liam, Mikey D, and Fovel for helping us set up the GSCH Pantheon inside of Skyforge. It was a lot of work, very stressful, very tiring, but we managed to pull it off in a very short amount of time. We got to even upgrade it a little bit so that everyone could be in there. So thank you guys for all your hard work and efforts. You guys are what makes the stream team work so fluidly. So thanks.
The people who make the people look good.
Exactly. So here we go. I opened up the window to our standard Pantheon interface. This is the general kind of thing. I'm not sure what the trending and recent vote is going to do, or these two boxes down here, they're just kind of there. You could donate monies to your guilds, which is what you're going to need to upgrade your stronghold. Now this is kind of the unique part. When you start, you're only going to have access to 3 clans, which are like subgroups of your guild, and in each one of those you'll have 3 members. You'll have to upgrade them to get more members, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But pretty much what you have various information over here on the right. It shows how much somebody has donated to the clan, which is really cool for guilds, especially like guild leaders trying to find out who's chipping in, who's not. So that kind of shows who's really pushing it for your community. And then the actions, you have standard clan member. You can make somebody a commander. And then you can change their clan from 1 to 2 to 3, 4, or you can opt to kick them. Quick invite to group. This is rather helpful. It's rather difficult to invite people to groups otherwise. But you have 4 basic clans there. So I'll take you over to the Stronghold page real quick. This is pretty much your upgrade panel. We managed to upgrade our Pantheon chambers to allow more people. So you can pretty much upgrade your conference hall, which will give you more clans in the Pantheon. So that's how you get more than 3. Oh dear. I think I just crashed it. How can I possibly fall off a cliff in the user interface?
I don't know, Fog, but somehow you managed to do it. I applaud you.
Well, we are an open beta after all.
Yes, Fog forgot to mention that this is an open beta, so at least as I've run, there have been times when I've crashed out, times when I've run into some interesting bugs running into walls or whatnot, so please take that with a grain of salt as you watch our playthrough this evening. This is not a finished product.
I think that's clearly evident now at this stage. So, Fog, while you're trying to uncrash yourself from the game, you said that you had a few issues getting the Pantheon up and running. From a purely design perspective, Pantheons and Skyforge seem like a really good idea, and they tend to be centered around pushing people towards them, but how difficult was it to get a Pantheon up and running in the first place, bearing in mind that Goshka is a very community-driven group of people who are obviously going to want to utilise that?
The big thing was, I mean, it's easy enough to get the points that you need to be able to open it. The surprising shock was how limited it was once we got in, and only having 9 slots for characters. That was like, we were honestly considering this to be something that we were considering to be a full chapter, and if it would have become a full chapter, having 9 people to invite when I have 1,600 knocking on the door, that would have been the death of me. There's no way I could listen to 1,600 people being totally furious and only be able to let in my 9 favorite people while they grind out all the grind out everything so that they can upgrade the guild so the next guy can get in. It would really have been pretty much dead before it ever got off the ground. So from a community standpoint, if you are an existing community, you have 100+ people, and you want to play this game together, it's going to be a little frustrating at start. My best advice would send it in an insertion team. Get people playing the game on their own, get a little group together, start building up that community, and then officially announce that you're launching in there once you have the capacity to be able to have everyone in there.
And the one plus point to take away is that open beta is not going to be wiped. So if you plan to do that, then you can potentially do that now before the game launches.
Alright, now I'm back. So, yeah, back to where I was. Strongholds. So this is pretty much your upgrade path. We're working on Fort right now, which takes a lot. It took 2 million credits for the currency exchange that we had to do. Fortunately, I was a premium account, so I had gems to start with, and I just converted all those to money, and then just spent it all on Netfort. So it's good. You have your voting box, which when you do an upgrade, it basically requires a vote among your clan, so you can basically choose which upgrade you want to do next. And that pretty much prevents random people from saying, oh, I want to do this huge upgrade that's going to take us months and months and months to do, when that's not really the direction that you want to go. So that's kind of nice. So you can basically see in the log who voted for what. And then your bonuses, we don't even know what's under here yet. It's we got to build the Triumph Square. So we are planning on doing a restream of this for the Extra Life event. We'll be having a 2-hour segment in Skyforge, and at that point, I'm hoping I can show you a lot more, and hopefully show you some invasions and actually get into some of the upper level PvP stuff. So yeah, I mean, you really can't even really see anything. We haven't unlocked that yet. So that's pretty much what we have so far. We'll move over to the Ascension Atlas. This thing is huge. Whenever you have a character class, like I'm a Lightbinder right now, you have this huge tree that just goes and goes and goes forever. And these are where you put all your points. Each one of these little circles, there's little things that you got to click on to advance it, and that raises your overall prestige, raises your strength of your character. And like, at first, I didn't even notice that there was this other tab over there that says Ascension Atlas, and I'm thinking, wow, this thing is so massive, so much progression for my character, I don't even know what I'm going to do with all this stuff. So I was really overwhelmed just by this page alone, and then I clicked on this one. Yeah, this one's a little bigger.
So I think it might be worthwhile defining the difference between the two tabs, because the first tab that Fog's looking at, that's actually your class tab, so that's equivalent to what another game might call a profession. Skyforge lets you switch between your professions at one click without any sort of barrier. But the second tab that he's going to go on to is going to be the Ascension Atlas. That is the Ascension Atlas, and that one crosses entire classes and allows you to put points into particular stats that will allow you to unlock upper classes within the Ascension Atlas. So when you start out within the game, you get 3 classes you can switch between, and your particular class that you have utilised at any one point in time is going to be your right hand tab. That's going to allow you to progress a particular class. The left hand tab is going to be your main Ascension Atlas, and as Fog's going through that, you can see that you can maybe worth showing them finding a path to see how to unlock other classes beyond the 3 and what other classes are available.
Yeah, so if you look at my screen right now, this is where the archer is. This is what I've been working towards, and my friend over at MMORPG, Bill, has informed me that this is probably the wrong way for me to go, but you know what? It's too late. I'm almost there. I'm going to keep on going to archer, and I'm going to be an archer, and I'm going to put on my archer hat and be happy about it. But yeah, it's very massive, and there's a lot of classes here. I mean, there's the archer. Up here, there's this chain guy, Slayer. He's really cool. You can kind of play all these guys in the little trials. There's like these, there's areas where you can go and try out all the classes, see which one you like. And Slayer is actually one that I kind of like. He's got these giant chains and whips everything, and it's awesome. It's like if Scorpion had 2 Scorpion ropes.
I think everyone loves playing the Slayer. I think the game's going to have a plethora of Slayers.
So Gunner and Alchemist. Monk. So from what you guys have seen so far, I know Fallen, you've played several of the classes. Which one do you like the most?
I have playtested all the classes. Personally, support, my favorite's Kinetic. Attack, my favorite is obviously Slayer. And then right in the middle there, I would have to say Necromancer is just an amazing class. It's just a lot of fun. You use your health to do attacks though, so it scares me as a support character. Like I was just in an instance and I thought the guy was dying. No, he's using his health to do attacks.
Nice. Yeah, Bill was actually a huge fan of the Necromancer as well. So I think I'm definitely going to have to go that direction after I get my Archer and I cry a little and get some bonbons. Fortunately, it's you know, just hanging right at Albuquerque instead of going straight. So, you know, it shouldn't be too bad. So let's go ahead. Go ahead, Smitty.
Now, the classes that I've been enjoying, I've been playing with Cryomancer, and the one that I have been testing a little bit and having some fun with is the Alchemist, which kind of gives you a backpack of Dr. Octopus arms that allow you to throw various acids and chemicals to control and dissolve your enemies. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. I think I actually saw one of those.
He has a little bit of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde as his ultimate. Also, he turns into a giant beast and swipes at stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So I've moved over to the character page. This is the Lightbinder's skill set. You have all these little talents that you can basically stick in the slots that you unlock. You can respec them for whatever this is, the little blue thing that's up here, the Sparks of Transformation. So you got those skills. You can't really drag and drop them anywhere, so you're pretty much stuck with wherever they land on your bar. And then, like, I have an Incarnation of Light. I am a complete newbie, and I sometimes have clicked a button that turns me into toggling allies rather than enemies, and that's killed me a few times. But I'm not sure even that I have this form yet. I think this is my ultimate. So, but this is like, it changes the skills that you have. So that should be pretty interesting, and I should unlock it sometime today. Then they have the Paladin. Paladins, every class plays differently. It's a whole different like mini game every time that you change a class. So it's pretty interesting if you like games that kind of change things up and the entire playstyle changes for each class. This is definitely your kind of game. There's a lot of versatility, a lot of variety. It's not very easy to kind of, you know, get stale with your class. You know, when you play a class for so long, sometimes you just get stale on it, and you're like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, and it dries up. You can just switch. I'll say, I don't want to be a Lightbender no more. So I go over to Cryomancer, and instantly I'm a Cryomancer, and I can go out there and start doing Cryomancer type stuff. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's probably my favorite point of this. And symbols are like kind of like an achievement system almost, where you got to complete various tasks and then you can activate them. So, and like right now I have a 1 out of 3 limit, so I can activate 3 of these that I have unlocked. Currently I only have 1, which is Clever Maneuver. But and that gives me dash. I get absorption when I do dash. So I saw that Soren dropped in the channel. Welcome, Soren.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
See, I told you she would be here.
Going good.
I was coming. I'm sorry. We got into a barn burner of a ball game. She went right down to the wire.
Very nice. Alright, well, when you get in, I'll try inviting you. We are in the little, what is this place called?
Sola Digs?
Landbird Forest right now.
Okay, cool. Are you guys on your lobies?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
The 15 to 1600s.
I am not, and that will be explained.
Yes,
Okay.
Fallen donated his account to Screenager because we had a little mishap with the European transitioning, so we just decided to bring him over in an American account, so there's no issues.
Nice.
So we donated
Yes, for
Fallen's
now.
account for today.
For now,
So-
I am Moroccan.
Yes.
I like it.
The things we do for each other.
Dude, this is not the worst thing I've done for my... anyway, moving on.
Hey, this is I've never
What was
actually
that, Bonnie
seen. Hey, shush about that. We don't talk about it on the air. Come on now. So this is the first time I've actually seen our guild tag. I've never seen a guildie.
Oh, you're horrible, man.
I'm like, hey, look, we got little
you just
tags.
gotta come on more often. You gotta come on more often, Fod.
I've been sitting
saying
idle.
We're not saying that grouping in Skyforge is difficult. We're just saying it takes an hour to get set up.
You just gotta play the taxi tag.
Alright, once Soren gets in, we'll go ahead and do some of the questing in this little zone. This is one of the open world maps. There are mission maps and there are open world instances like this one. All the quests are pretty nice. I mean, you see the little objectives over on the right side of my screen, and then they color coordinate these blobs that pretty much tell you where to do each one of those. So it's pretty straightforward, and these little things allow you to port from one place to another.
Porting's expensive, just a FYI.
Unless you're a premium account.
Yeah,
if you're on a premium account,
Yeah.
it's free.
So the way that premium accounts work in Skyforge is that it is a free-to-play game, but you can buy a premium account as per a number of free-to-play systems that give you a number of perks. One of those perks is being able to transport between the different teleportation nodes for free. The way that you buy premium accounts is you buy a currency known as Argents, which you'll see down the bottom right-hand corner of Fog's screen when he's been playing around with the different classes. Those Argents are purchasable via, say, for example, the website, and then there should be an option within the settings to be able to, is it O or U, one of the buttons brings you to the premium access, and you can purchase premium with those Argents in slots of 2, 7 and 30 days, I think it is, off the top of my head. You can also go ahead and buy premium accounts from in-game currency as well. So you can generate something called credits, which is one of the many swathes of different currencies in the game, and you can convert them to Argents, and those Argents again can be used. So Argents are like the cash store currency that are available within Skyforge. So one of the things that I've noticed within Skyforge, and you might be noticing now while Fog's been going through stuff, Skyforge has a lot of information. There are a lot of currencies. There are a lot of different influences on class and abilities. There's, you've got and even when you're developing your character, your class atlas and your ascension atlas are two different bits of information. There's a lot of stuff to take in, and it's kind of just all piled in there within the different interfaces, and it can be difficult to navigate at times, to say the least.
I was flipping around the different windows of where you were talking, trying to keep up with you.
So I think that's a fair assumption. While we're waiting on Soren getting in, so everyone else, do you guys feel that as well? Because that's something that, while the game has its upsides, and we'll see its upsides when we actually get into the game, because when you play it, it really shines. It's some of its bigger issues are when you're trying to do things like optimize class and work out how to do some of the more supporting and community type functions within the game, things like buy your premium access. Some of it can be difficult to find. It's not intuitive as you might otherwise find in some other games. You're not introduced to it in a fair way. You're not driven at it or given a tutorial for certain things. That it can take you longer than would be optimal to find what you want to do.
Shoot me an invite again.
Alrighty, one moment, here we go.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say things in a Scottish accent while Soren's getting in. So I don't know, haggis and bagpipes and iron brew. And if anyone's got any words that they'd like me to say, just feel free to throw them into chat.
I'm in.
I'm sure we can. Okay. Never mind. I'm not.
Soren, you should have taken longer. It's not every day we get a Scotsman in here.
That would have been the highlight of the night.
Come on, Screen Ninja Man, come on, Ed. You can just talk all day. I'm totally okay with that.
I could say some Philadelphian words like wooder and warsh.
I got Canadianese.
Those are words?
Yes.
Hey, this is America.
Wash your clothes and wooder.
Am I being
guys
educated by Americans about language and diction?
Of course.
I said diction with a T.
See, I don't have an accent. I feel left out.
So we've got a Scotsman and a Canadian, and 3 Americans.
It's like, I don't think I have. Well, I don't know. Lots of people told me I have an accent, but I don't believe them.
I used to speak German, if that counts.
I can speak
That
Japanese.
counts. That counts. It counts too.
I can speak some Spanish.
Why can't I port to you?
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Fog knows the
Super
basic
important.
questions. Which
Well
way
done,
to the
Smitty.
bathroom? How much does this cost?
Necesitas un baño. That was probably terrible. Hey.
I apologize to any of our Spanish-speaking observers for that disastrous bit of whatever that was.
You know what? It took me 4 years to pass 2 years of Spanish.
Oh.
And the only reason I passed was because I fixed the teacher's computer. Thank God for Apple.
That's funny.
Sorry, Soren. I don't know what to do for you.
It's not letting me port.
So you are in this zone, right? The
No,
Lambert
it's not
Forest?
on my map. I have to. Somebody has to pull me in.
Alright, well.
Okay, you guys go ahead, and I'll just pop to my other tune and hop in and see if it's on that map. Oh, we're good. It just popped up.
Okay, there we go.
Looks like she's coming in.
Yay!
Well, she's doing something.
I'm
There she
loading.
is.
I see her!
I'm
Yay!
loading with my pro loading screen.
This would be a great example of some of the issues that we've had with the grouping and community system.
It's sort of like ESO, but a little bit worse.
Yeah,
Less polished is probably the right word.
Correct.
yeah, I would agree.
Are you loaded in now?
No, I'm on load screen. Come on, I got farmer internet, Smitty. You guys can run. I'll catch up. Oh, there I am.
Alright, so let's go ahead and head out to the Enraged Pack.
Hold on. Gotta kick off this group first.
Hold on, I gotta talk to the dude.
Now I can move on.
You get to see my awesome physics.
There, guys, I'll turn on the sound so you can hear the lovely music. This is actually much better than last week's music, I must say.
Music?
I
I don't
have
think
to
I've heard
agree.
music in this game.
Yeah.
I naturally turn it off in almost every game.
Hilariously
I actually
enough,
don't mind this one.
last week's live stream actually got muted because of one of the songs in the dungeon.
It was so repetitive and so annoying.
No, I mean, the Twitch actually muted it because of some
Oh, that's
copyright
funny.
license with the song that was in that dungeon. I can't believe somebody would actually sell that song.
Oh, that's funny. So what's everybody playing? That's the better question.
Cryomancer.
Alright, that skill I just used was my
You're-
Care Bear Stare.
Alright, you melee or you, I should say, AoE happy people, you gotta at least let me get a hit on it before you nuke stuff.
The
Well,
downfall
wait.
of playing melee in this game is that you have to actually get something.
So what we've got at the moment is our tank, well, Soren's basically playing melee, so by default is now our tank. Fortunately, this game in the open world right now doesn't really require a tank, but we've got two support characters who are light binders, and we've got Cryomancer who's DPS. So we've got a fair split of different classes at the moment, so you're going to find that Soren's probably going to be complaining all day that we are killing everything.
It's okay, I was giving Fallen and those guys the gears yesterday, but we got a system.
Pew 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 pew.
Pew pew. I could always flop too, that's not a
So for
problem.
notice, what you guys need to do is group everything up, let her run in and poke one of them or two of them, and then AoE them.
So what's up with these little purple plants?
So the purple.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. So what happens is in each open world area.
Mob boss over here, Mike Tech.
In each open world area, there are little gatherable objects that can be used to buy stuff in the store later. Costumes cost 1,200, and the little bonus item that'll help you randomly in different kinds of combat. I think for the zone you're in, it is a dash potion. No, for that zone, it's a trank dart.
No, trank.
And it goes into your quick slot inventory, which is H, and you can trank something and knock it unconscious for a little bit.
Alright, let's head over to On Guard and supplies for refugees.
So what I do like about this game is that what you might find when you're watching Fog's stream is that on the right hand side of the screen you currently see a list of objectives and quests that you're currently carrying out. Now I tend to find that I quite like the way that the quest interface works on this, and that it will just pop up whatever it is in your locale or within your story quest for you to complete doing. What's quite nice about it is that it really encourages you, if you have a completionist sort of attitude, then if you hit M for map, then you'll tend to find that you will always end up wanting to complete every single zone, because you'll see that as Fog's completing the little purple quest at the right hand side, you see that it's got a counter of how many of the refugees, I think it is, or the meat that he's got to complete at the moment, and if you hit M it will show you an overall completion for the general area as well. So I tend to find when I ever come into an instance like this, I always end up completing everything in the zone. I can't ever leave it without doing
I'm the
everything.
same way. I'm just like, it bothers me if it's not done. It's kind of nice too, like one quest that I find, it all leads you like into the next one quite nicely. And there's not a whole heck of a lot of running back and forth really, unless you miss a step.
Oh great, I'm on
Then there's a lot of running.
I'm on the target friends thing again.
Hit F or T to try and get off it. So, for those that don't know, F1 through 4 in your case is going to be you, and then everybody subsequently under you. Really, I find this is only needed for supports.
An interesting thing about health, you'll notice that as you fight against enemies, they'll be dropping these glowing orange globes. These glowing orange globes are your in-fight health restoration. They will pump you up a little bit in your health. You also are able to purchase things called, I'm trying to remember what they're called. Regeneration substrates, which are kind of like potions, if you will, that you can pop in the middle of the fight or after a fight, kind of give you a boost of health back, so you can keep going on in the fight.
That's part of the whole action combat system that Skyforge has got going on. Skyforge is very much an action MMORPG, similar to games like Terra, where it... 2 seconds while I just make sure Soren doesn't die.
No, I'm good.
Where it allows you to get WSAD for movement, which is relatively straightforward, and you've got a little target in the middle of your screen, so you're not tap targeting standing. Most of the skills in the game are cast while movement as well, so there's not a lot of standing cast within this game. So what you'll find is that you'll have... Sorry, just in the middle of combat there. So what you find is you've got something called a dash system as well. Dash systems are similar in some respects to dodging that you see in other games like Smash Brothers, Guild Wars 2, except they do not include invincibility frames, which means that dashing is very much a case of getting out of the way of something like any AoE, and in particular to specific skills. They will not give you invincibility, which means that you find some skills, once they're cast, they're locked onto you, and dashing doesn't do anything. So it takes some getting used to. If you've been used to games that use those sort of invincibility frames when you've got dodging in place, I found it very disconcerting at first until I understood how they were intended to be used by the designers.
Another thing that you can run into that's a little bit frustrating is that with everybody on the same channel, if you will, in an area, you could be fighting for resources and sniping things out, but as long as you get a hit in on an objective, you will most likely receive credit for said objective. So you don't have to worry about someone sniping out something underneath of you, you missing out on something you tagged, and just because someone got on the final blow.
Correct. It's very open world based, share kills, so on. You get individualized loot. It's not like you have to fight over the loot. One bad thing is you have a chance to get other classes' loot, which is not that bad because you can be that class, but you cannot trade gear.
But if you get another class's equipment, you can easily break that down into elements that you can use to upgrade your weapons or defense or accessory systems.
I believe you can list it on the market, can't you? Don't they have a market system?
You could sell it.
You could.
Not to other people. It's gonna. I believe it's gonna sell it directly to the system for in-game cash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the system doesn't have sale NPCs like you would normally see within certain other games. You sell basically using your sell by market interface, and it just goes directly into the system, which is nice that you don't have to find an NPC to get rid of the loot in your bag. And just to answer one of the questions in chat, it is currently open beta, so we don't know how the final system is going to work with the balancing of currency to Argents, but I do believe that it is modified by demand. However, like I say, that's all down to the mail.ru team and how they, or the Team Onwards team, and how they want to actually finally implement that. So a lot of it is obscured from our view, but it does appear to be a case of it does get more expensive, but that's only my perception, depending on demand. Suffice to say, converting to Argents is expensive either way. Incredibly so.
At the moment, the only use for the Argent crystals that I have noticed that is worth it is when you go through your full Atlas tree. There are some items that you have to find in the open world and then put in, but you have to use the Argent credits to increase it. Or to embed it.
Indeed, the game itself is going to very much be because it's a free-to-play game, the intention has been that it's going to be a lot of cosmetic items, and there's going to be an in-game store. Right now we haven't seen or heard anything about an in-game store, but they have intimated that there's going to be an in-game store within the game, and that it's going to be cosmetic items. But again, we've not seen or heard anything definite about that. It's very much been intimated by the teams Obsidian and Odds that that's going to be the case. So hopefully we won't see too much pay to win within the game, and it will mostly be cosmetic items. But that is again entirely up in the air at this stage because we're still in open beta, and the game very much is unfinished at this point in time. There's a lot of things like translations and other tweaks like the community utilities that really are particularly unfinished, so we don't know how long it's going to be until we actually see it. However, there's a lot of scope for cosmetic items within the game. because it is a very pretty game.
Yeah, it is an extremely pretty game.
One thing to note is I do have my graphics turned a little bit down because I am streaming at the moment. But if it looks this good with my graphics kind of mid-grade, imagine what it looks like when you have them turned all the way up.
And another really neat thing about this in terms of graphics, the game automatically analyzes. I know it as for granted, but it's best to kind of start off with their base settings to kind of see how that looks and how that performs in your system, and then go from there. It even gives you examples of what the graphics look like when you swap from lower to higher graphical fidelity, which is a very neat feature I found when I was tweaking graphical settings for my computer. So
alright, looks like there's a big boss up to the northwest. You guys want to go take him on?
Sure.
Let's do that.
Sure.
Not like it's going to be that hard. That's something I've put in so far. I mean, I played through the open betas of this. Well, I played through the closed betas, the open betas. I've had a Founders Pack for this. The Founders Packs were quite nice, and they were only about £13, which was kind of throwaway money. So I've played this fairly extensively through to just beyond Lambert Forest repeatedly, and I don't think I found anything that I couldn't solo in this game, even the impossible level missions.
So when you go on missions solo, it does scale it to how many people are in the party. So if you go solo, it's obviously going to be a lot easier.
Yeah, which is fair enough, but I do find that the level of difficulty within the game, in some instances, certainly could use tweaking up within the earlier levels. It'd be hard to say across the board because I've certainly not played it to endgame, but certainly I've not found myself massively challenged up till the stage of Lambert Forest and just beyond it.
Another neat feature is as you go through the open world areas, you'll find either hidden chests, caches, or collections of flowers or leaves that as you collect them will allow you to unlock special outfits, special gear. There's no crafting in this game per se, in as much as you will be upgrading your weapons and armor tiers, allowing you to basically craft better weapons, but you're not crafting anything tangible that you can use in the game. Mostly everything here is purchased or found from enemy drops.
Alright, took care of that guy.
Fairly swiftly. But again, yeah, that's that collection of those items
hey guys, over here.
Part of the currency. Oh, you're getting swamped.
Let's make sure you got credit for him.
Ooh, I got another
Nope.
boss over here.
It's also, you all have to pay attention and make sure everybody is finishing up the quest, otherwise you will have to run back, or they will have to run back.
So this is my teleport. Voila! Alright, Soren, come kill these bugs if you need them.
Oh, sorry.
I think I need a whole ton of those
Thanks,
bugs.
Smitty.
I'm sorry, there's one off. There's one
Over here!
left.
Over here!
There's one left.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Sorry, I need him too. I have this one AoE bomb that's really good against mobs, and I find that it just takes things out way too quick.
We've
Yeah,
noticed
that's
that with Soren and I playing together, that's an issue, and Melee overall has a greater issue for combat. Soren can explain that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm finding that.
What
the weird...
were we in? I can't remember what area we were in, but we were fighting one of the big bosses, and
The flying bosses,
and it's incredibly hard as a melee to actually hit those things.
You mean when ranged or deep?
Yeah.
Wait for you to get the first hit in and build up threat.
Pretty much.
No, like you can't. She actually had issues hitting at all because
Yeah, I
it's
think
flying.
it's just
This hitbox is actually the size of it.
I think it was just a bug, but I can't remember what that quest was called. Archipelago. That one. The one that was a real pain.
It does suffer from that in that respect. I've been playing Templar a lot, and I'm wanting to work towards Monk and then Knight, because I actually find that outside of that, the melee experience within this game is actually very good. I like melee combat in this game, and I don't normally play melee. I normally play ranged. I've played ranged in every MMO I've played in, and this is the first time when I played Knight over one of the open betas. It was so satisfying to play. I decided to switch over to melee. The problem being that I've been there and trying to get threat back on
It's
mobs
hard.
can be. It's fine once you've got it, but trying to get it back is frustrating. But then again, that's something that melee character will probably know from playing MMOs, throughout history. But he does have problems with either building up threat and aggro or closing distance. If the melee has more closing distance skills, that might not be so much of an issue, but it is problematic, so you spend half your time running after, particularly boss mobs where you've got single encounter mobs and you're just running after this thing that's being carried by a melee, like what's happening now.
Kinda. Oh, this is the wrong guy.
Oh, I think I'm being chased.
There we go. Success!
Ooh, I did a quest and I wasn't even trying.
Oh, hallelujah, red sparks!
Those seem so hard to find.
So that might be worthwhile explaining why we are Hallelujah Red Spark.
Sparks are used for your Ascension Atlas to basically level up your tune. And you need certain colored sparks to level up certain areas of your atlas. So in my instance, for mine, I need red sparks to actually progress on any of my stuff. So yay, red sparks!
Looks like Hive Leader's up.
We're coming down to you. But when you
my
say Hive
Skyforge
Leader,
is crashed.
I think of the Hive Leader who does YouTube and gaming stuff, and I'm thinking we're going to kill the Hive Leader. Poor man.
I love that guy. We can't kill him. I just have to say his review of Cabal 2 was internet gold.
One weird thing. Does everyone else have that issue where you end up walking up to something you want to interact with and then just jumping repeatedly?
Yes.
Yes, or jumping over.
I have. I think it has something to do with aggro and combat.
So while we're killing this Aswan fighter, one of the standard interact functions within the game is you use spacebar. You might have seen that on Fox Stream. Problem with that being they used spacebar for interaction as well as jump. So what you tend to find is that, and it's not really a big deal, but it can become a bit confusing when you walk up to something and you just stand there jumping.
Yep.
Especially when you get to certain open world areas, you actually have collection missions. Like, collect 10 of these things that are very volatile and may go away very rapidly. So you run up to the thing, you think you have a good distance to it, you hit the space bar, and then you just stupidly jump, and then the thing disappears, which could potentially cause you to lose that bonus to your open world completion for that round that you're in.
Yeah, I mean, bearing in mind, you do get used to it very quickly, and you get it's like the dodge roll thing. It's one of those things. It's an idiosyncrasy of the game, and you get used to it very quickly. But it can be a little disconcerting at first, and it's most certainly not a game-breaking sort of problem. It's just a little bit weird. Is it the Swarm Leader we're going to kill? Yeah.
I'm absolutely terrible with following these guys. Sit.
So, how much of this have you guys all played then at the moment? Have you guys played this through anything other than the open beta at the moment, or?
Yeah, I've been through all the closed betas.
I was in 2 out of the 4.
I just did the last closed beta.
This is my first time with the game. I have the Swarm Leader up on me.
We're coming around to you now.
2 health bars left. 1 health bar left. I'll hold off.
He did.
Wow, we got beat pretty quick. But so
Well,
go on.
no. Go ahead. I was just
going to say to Soren. So, with you having played the game since the closed betas, do you think it's developed a fair amount, or do you think it's how far away from launch do you think this really is?
I think they've come a long way from the very first one that they had. We had lots of issues. I know I was working with them with lots of the melee issues, and quite a few of them have been ironed out. Obviously, there's still some, but it's not as bad as it was. And I don't know. I'd say they're close, but not quite there yet. But then I guess it depends on what their vision is, their end goal. I would like to see them beef up the social system and grouping, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
I think certainly the biggest issues when they started closed betas were the rather janky translations.
Yeah. Yeah, some stuff was pretty hard to understand. So I remember the first time I went in here, it was pretty much just kind of guessing at what you were trying to do.
Which to some extent it's testament to how good the UI actually is that you could play through with really, really horrible translations with no interfaces, with no real chat dialogue, and you could pretty much guess what you had to do based on the colour schemes and the user interface that's here.
So guys, let's go ahead and head to the uplink terminal over here. I want to show the people some of the story missions. And we'll probably have to have one of us drop groups so that I can show those. But we are about at the 9 o'clock hour.
I can drop out.
But what I wanted to do is continue the War Hero line. So if I do the group finder, it'll pull you all in, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
I need one person to drop, I think.
I can.
So that's one of the benefits. That's one of the good things about the grouping in Skyforge. That we've not been too complimentary with the group system in Skyforge. But one of the really good things is that once you're in it, when you go into an instance, it should, in theory, just pull us all in. And well, I've been playing this with someone sitting beside me up until now. Anytime we've entered an instance just like that, you won't necessarily see that on Fog's stream, but we just all got an invitation to adventure as soon as Fog went into this one, and we just get an accept decline, and that's it. It's pretty, it's pretty much just straight through, and that's really nice that it's that intuitive, and it'd be great when the rest of the social systems are that intuitive and they're that transparent to the end user. So where are we now?
We're in Kairos for the War Hero storyline.
So right now our characters are currently in Kairos. We are basically we're going through a fairly generic quest line that is investigate some town that's been attacked by some bugs, and these are alien invaders or that are trying to get a foothold in the world of Alien that we defend. Some of the quest lines can be a little generic within the game, but that's bearing in mind that again a lot of the translation hasn't been done, and it's still in progress. So it's difficult to judge the story missions based on the fact that there's still a lot of work to go on within them related to translation and localization. So it is kind of difficult. Right now I tend to find that the story missions are a little bit, they're fairly so-so, they're not that engaging, but they're a means to an end, and there's enough engagement within the combat and within the end goals that I don't really mind. And the fact of the matter is the instances are fairly short at the end of the day, so each of these missions essentially is an instance, and each of these instances is fairly short. You'll never be in an instance even as long as probably an hour right now up until this point in the game, which means it's fairly engaging for just dropping in and dropping out of. So I think we're going to engage this boss now, so I'm going to shift my face.
Don't forget as the Lightbinder to use your V ability, which is a vortex where it pulls everybody in. It makes it a lot easier for people to AoE stuff down.
It's fun. Alright, I get to play as a kinetic.
That's another issue they're having right now, is that is not working 100%.
Boss go down.
Woo! Oh good. So wipe. So as I was saying, because of the nature of these instances, you're not in them for even as long as an hour. What it's great for is it's great for just dropping in fairly casually, playing a little bit, getting something done, making some progress, and then moving on. You always tend to find in this, you feel like you're making progress with very little effort, and that's not to say that progress is easy, because it is a long path, as you saw on the Ascension app, but you always feel like you're making some sort of progress. So I think it works quite well as a sort of game that you can play fairly casually. You can even play it quite well on your own, and just play it as and when you want, rather than have to hardcore endgame the entire thing.
Another thing I really enjoyed about this game was the character creation. Very comprehensive in terms of what you're able to change. Obviously not at the levels of, let's say, a Black Desert or anything like that, but you can still have a very, very full set of customization options in creating a very custom look. Right down to a complete set of different outfits that you can have right from the start to wear. Versus your standard newbie gear, it looks like this sort of principle.
Yeah, and that's something completely evident with what I was saying about the cash shop, and I expected to be a lot of cosmetic items. Even some within the quests, you can even complete quests for class outfits fairly early in the game. It's very much clear that the game's going to be very heavily weighted towards cosmetics.
Which I'm totally okay with.
Oh, 100%.
I like the shiny.
And anyway, let's be honest, I have never seen a game that has a slider for both buttock size and buttock pertness in both male and female.
Just so you know, the character you're playing has an enhanced button.
I've got to say, it's quite evident. I mean, I was slightly disturbed when I turned my character around, it started to jiggle its butt at me, and the character creation, that was... I'd never seen a character creation that came that near to twerking.
Not to mention what you do when you increase or decrease the size of their bust.
Oh, there's plenty of bust jiggle, let me tell you.
The breast physics in this game are real.
They are ridiculous.
That was the first thing I think I said. I was like, oh my god, I can't do this.
I got trucked.
It was pretty entertaining.
See, that's what happened when Deep's run in. That's alright, we got no tank, we'll just let you YOLO this, it'll be fine.
Oh, it's all good, I forgot some loot back here. Worked out for the better.
Well, there you go. I was rezzing you, Fog, by the way.
Yeah, save it.
So although we've not been paying a huge amount of attention to what we're doing realistically, we've just been kind of hitting things. Some of these bosses do have rather unique mechanic. So this one at the moment had a set of mechanics where it will spawn an AoE at a certain health point. It will also spawn extra mobs at certain health points. It will also become invincible when it spawns the mobs, I think.
Yeah, there are some that do, yeah.
Yeah.
So although they tend to have phases, which is nice for keeping the game interesting. I'm going to kill these mobs that are spawned right now so that we can then attack the boss. I mean, it's still not particularly difficult, but it's nice that they have different phases within each of these mini-bosses. It keeps the game, again, engaging over short periods of time. I think that, again, is part of its real... one of its real achievements in its combat is good and it is engaging.
Another thing is you can tell this game is meant to be played a limited amount, not just to blow through the entire game. You are limited on how many of the crystals and stuff you can get per week.
Now, of course, when you go for a premium account, those levels are increased a bit. You get a little bit more play in them, but you still are limited as to income that you can have, number of sparks you can have. They kind of limit a lot of that.
I'm going to switch over to doing a bit of support. Oh, and I'll just support you, since you've got all the aggro.
I'm good at that.
It's because you have cryo, basically.
And I have a cryo.
Durr. Sorry.
They just like how I'm dressed.
Fuck the heel of the
You're
green
snappy.
sky.
I'm trying to keep you up. Everything's on cooldown.
That's alright, I pop myself straight.
Oh,
There's
cool.
a
In that
boss.
case, I'm back to hitting thing. On one hand he goes, it's very weak. On the other hand he's like, don't die! Although saying that, talking about that, raising and death in this,
Thank you.
I'm
Trying to save the
not
others.
sure if it could actually be more punishing. It's fairly, it doesn't really feel
There's no
like...
consequences.
Yeah, basically.
That'll probably change on the main release. They'll probably have some sort of death consequence.
That does change. I mean, it fits the idea that the game is really easy to get into and easy to play without any major hassle, but at the same time, I'd like it to be a bit more consequential.
But let's
Or
not get out of hand. Don't get out of hand like a Lods Online did.
we're not talking like major consequences, but something with a little bit more meaning, I think, so that you're not just running in there dying and then rezzing and you're like, oh yeah, things are good.
I mean, raising at this point, pretty much what happens right now within raising in the game is you die and you pretty much maybe, you know, a few yards back you raise and that's pretty much it. There's no real penalty to it. You're maybe 20 seconds back. I just love that that light Vader beam.
Once you get an enemy down to a certain level, you also have built-in finishers, so that you can kind of just pull them, kill them immediately with their like 20% life left. It's pretty nifty.
The finishers also refund your sources that you use for attacks.
This game has a lot of nooks and crannies, so it's best sometimes to explore little areas, especially if you're coming back to an area. If you're revisiting area, it'll give you these little submissions to do, such as kill so many enemies in front of a camera, or get your life down to a very small amount, and then it'll spawn a special creature that you have to kill. So it's pretty nifty that way. A little bit adds more to the replay value.
Phew, that got a little hairy a little quickly. got to love that Cryomancer DPS. It's just insane.
It's stupid the
It's
amount
crazy.
of damage I can put out. That's probably going to be nerfed for the beta, for the release. But some AOE skills that I have just have such a wide area and do so much damage. It's silly. Low cooldown as well. My big AoE bomb has only like a 20-second cooldown, and I'll go ahead and pop it now. And it's really good aiming. Does a lot of damage to a lot of people in a lot of area. For many of the characters, a lot of your attacks have chargeable secondary attacks that you can use to power up and give something either an AoE effect or something with a bit more bite to it. Like for instance, I have a Needler effect with my Cryomancer where I can throw a spike, but if I hold and I charge it, it turns into a spear that impales the character and gives me frost damage over time.
Yeah, and that is one of the things we didn't really mention so much at the start of the game about the control and combat interface in this, that it's a relatively limited set of combat skills you've got with each profession, despite the fact you've got a large choice of skills available to you and a lot of choice within the Ascension Atlas. Once you actually get down to it, there's maybe only, there's 8, and then there's 9, 10, 11 if you include charges for most of them. 12, yeah, so roughly 12 skills you can use, and that is relatively nice. It is not entirely overwhelming. It kind of keeps the combat system. It does mean that within each character, the amount of active skills that you can get at any one time is relatively limited. There's breadth in that you've got a breadth of choice, but you don't necessarily have a breadth of active skills within combat, whereas you've got games like Blade and Soul that have a reactive combat system. This one's just limited, but I'd far prefer this than a huge number of macro binds, so I see it as a positive that it's got relatively limited combat, active combat skills, and that when you're going through instances, you're not overwhelmed by a million keybinds that you have to have. I find that works for the type of game that this is, that it's, right now, the way I'm playing it, it's fairly casual and I don't have to remember an absolute ton of stuff. I mean, there's enough characters and enough skills and enough classes in the game. It's difficult enough to keep up as it is, never mind having to try and work out how many dozens of keybinds you've got set up when you're killing this ferocious ferocious bug, let's call it.
Leroy Jenkins.
Just responding to the comments in chat about the game's website. It is, yeah, it can have a few problems. It is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. At the moment, we did have problems with things like interface between EU and NA. It's not always intuitive. It can have difficulties, to say the least. But if you give it another try, I'm sure it'll work. So this is relatively straightforward, this one. Again, this is a different set of mechanics. bosses. This has an AoE that it blows out about later on. There's a big purple circle once it gets to the right fade.
When a Lyra is protected by the shield, hostile
you don't want to be
attacks
hitting
are
it now because you
reflected.
just reflect stuff back in
Even
this circle. You
immortals
want to get out
observant
of it
enough
as well.
to notice and not destroy themselves against the shield.
But it does repeat that mechanic again and again. But it's nice to see those different mechanics and different sets of bosses throughout the game.
So for the boss fight you guys are on, the Z ability of the Light Binder can be used for the melee if you have one to get out quicker, or for everybody else to get out quicker. Throw it down and they'll teleport to you when they click on it.
Oh,
Only
I
one
am
person
dead.
can use it though.
I am dead.
I'm guessing you need the purple wall.
I ate the purple wall.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll pretty much one-shot you.
I'm gonna get killed. Maybe. Oh, I just got out in time.
You can use your Z, which is the teleport ability, throw it out, and then teleport yourself to it by clicking it again.
Something weird's going. Can't move.
Little help on?
I've yet to be able to get the resurrecting to even pop up.
You can't do it in combat.
You gotta be out of
sweet.
combat to do it, yeah.
So for all the little guys that are running around, if they're still out for you, throw down the vortex bolt together and both of you start right-clicking and it'll do a bunch of AoE to kill them fast enough.
I can move now. Yeah.
Oh, did you get stuck?
Yep.
The teleport is priceless in that moment. I've gotten stuck several times. And you can teleport out of the broken spot.
Heal up, I'll take care of this guy.
Cool. I'll take the charge mob.
You feel so useless.
At least you get to watch.
It's
Just
it's fun to watch.
just this glowy blue orb, and then it's spawn camping me. It's actually on my body. Okay, now it's moved.
I'm gonna take that orb and then I'll help you. That's good enough.
If you time it right, you might be able to stay in if you use your number 4, which is the immunity. I wouldn't risk it though.
Yeah, it's on cooldown anyway. We're doing fine, I was really scared. I can't get out of here. I can't move. I can't tank.
Yeah, that's
So what
where
can
the
you
teleport
do?
works.
Teleport!
Let's just keep switching aggro, that'll be fine.
Walls up.
Oh, did you get him up? Oh no, we killed it. Yay!
That was a
So I
nice
was
last
trying
fight.
to statement about everything being easy. Everything is relatively straightforward if you can use your WSAD keys. Otherwise, you could have problems. And we got red sparks, which is awesome.
Yeah, I got a ton of red sparks out of that one.
Alright guys, let's go ahead and distribute your points. Just try to stay within the same range of each other. So use what you got and then I will try to keep up with you guys.
Okay, well I've used what this has got, and that's got 1560. So this is something that, that currently right now within Skyforge, what Ben's talking about, he's talking about distributing your points. He's meaning using the sparks that you've got to progress your Ascension Atlas. Now the thing about that is that when you distribute points, you put on gear, you progress your Ascension Atlas. Anything you do increases to what's called your prestige in game. Prestige is essentially the equivalent of levels. The game itself doesn't have a leveling system, so when it has to bracket things like PvP and PvE instances for power, it uses prestige as a weighting of power. And that's fine within PvP. It can cause some issues with bracketing, but within PvE, what the game had problems with when it started was within open beta, you basically could not group with anyone. There wasn't a group finder, and there wasn't, if you didn't have exactly the same prestige, and I mean exactly the same prestige, you could not enter an instance with anyone you were grouped with. Those brackets have been widened as open beta has come into play, but it's still not, it's not equivalent to something that you'd be used to in other games where you can downscale yourself into other instances. So there's no downscaling or upscaling per se, there's just prestige bracketing. So if we are too far away from each other within that prestige bracket, then we won't be able to enter instances with each other. That's something that I feel needs to be changed, or certainly looked at before the game goes live, in that those brackets either need to be much wider, or realistically you really want to be able to go down into instances with people who are a lower prestige than you, certainly within PvE, because it's really obtrusive, or certainly it's problematic for trying to group with communities when you're trying to help people level, when you're trying to play through with people that don't get to play the exact same amount as you. And for a game that hinges so heavily on its end game communities and its Pantheon model, with its Pantheon war system, then it doesn't sit right with that. So it's better than it was, but it can be problematic.
Alright, so Smitty got all the way up to 1900. Can we get Mr. Fallen Angel up that high?
Not likely. Let's have a look and see though.
Did I
Let's see
go
if we've
too
got
high?
equipment.
Possibly. Yeah, I'm pretty much at my cap.
So 1650 is as far as this one's going.
Well, we can try it and see if we can get into another one.
I think you
Yeah,
have to be
possibly.
within 20%, I think is the magic number.
So what's the next thing that we got to do on War Hero?
You guys should probably have to come back to the Divine Observatory and talk to Flavius. And then eventually
actually,
he's gonna
I
send you
missed
to
a
the
spot.
monastery.
I missed a spot in War Hero.
So what we were saying earlier about if you, if everyone doesn't complete their quest, there's the open tagging is great, but the lack of quest sharing again can cause this sort of problem where someone dies repeatedly and then misses part of the quest.
Fog, if you re-enter, it is if you re-enter, it's literally like the first left that you take, and there's a little dead dude that you have to talk to.
Yeah, but I missed the very first part. So does that mean I have to do the whole thing over again?
Yes.
No, you can actually exit instances as soon as you go in. I do believe it's F11. So you don't have to fight that whole thing again. You can go in, grab your quest, get out.
Yeah, but wouldn't the
It
rest of the
depends
quest
on
be
if
in there?
It tells him to go through the rest of the area.
You shouldn't have to. Are you sure that's not just a different one and not War Hero?
No, this is War Hero.
Because for my War Hero one, I went in there, I talked to a guy, and then left. And then
Okay.
had to come back to the observatory.
Let's go ahead and try to go back in. Did you guys all get prompts to join?
Yes.
I accepted.
So don't get it confused with the actual instance quests. Like inside each instance has its own set of things that you can do. Make sure that you're actually looking for the War Hero stuff. It's right at the beginning. At least I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, because then you'll come talk to Flavius, and then you go grab something from Factory 501, talk to Flavius, and then you go to the Ardos Monastery.
Okay,
Right,
so we
I've got
just
this. Go on.
we
God,
just
you can tell
bail
I've
at
done
this
this a
point.
lot, hey? Yeah, F11 should get you out.
And it does. How about them apples?
I've got to say, this new weapon that's equipped on this Lightbinder, it looks like a pole mint on a stick.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean, a shiny pole mint on a stick, but you know, a pole mint on a stick nonetheless.
I'm no longer in your party, Fog.
I think when we left the thing, it kicked everyone out.
Oh,
Nice.
that's not good.
Shouldn't have.
But it did.
So for the next half hour, the remaining half hour that we got, or so, I don't know, I've got about a half hour left before I have to actually go for work. But for the next half hour, you're going to see how the grouping system works as we flip tables and try and regroup.
I got. Yay!
Wow, it works.
Hey, it's falling.
Alright, Divine Absorbatory and then Flavius.
I'm just here for comical laughter and great back information.
Moral support. If you can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter.
Yes.
That's how
Happy
you big
people!
old
Ouch.
Flavius.
Yeah, go to the... whatchamacallit?
Research center.
Research Center, there we go. I was about to say the place you get your minions, but you're not there yet.
Which, speaking of minions, the way you progress a guild is you have to get your character to the spot where you have followers, then use those followers to do certain quests, which you only get every 8 hours, to give points to the guild that the guild uses to build stuff.
It's like a game within a game.
Within the
That
game.
might I add, that meant absolutely nothing to anyone that's never used the follower system before.
You'd have to. I know it's hard to. You have to show them the loadout, but you guys aren't there yet.
Yeah, it's extremely confusing. And
I
you would
don't even
definitely
have.
to show.
I don't even have groupies yet.
You get it after you finish War Hero.
Oh, hello.
They make a
What do you
statue
have
of you,
here?
Fog.
Hold on, that's
Yep.
a tablet from the last century.
So basically,
Is it
in the
rarity?
game,
How much do you want for
the
it?
principal aim of the game is that you are an immortal, and
You're in
you
luck.
are ascending
You
to
could drive
godhood by
nails with this
becoming more
tablet.
powerful.
The data is probably
Part of that
intact.
is there's a
But there is a
subsystem
problem.
of
It's pretty much
what's called
impossible to
followers,
find a
or
reader these days.
we type groupies. So let's go with that.
If
The
you're
groupie
really
system
itching to get
is
one, try looking around the
basically
equipment
you have a
depots
certain
and
subset.
factories
Think
built
of
around
it
that
as
time.
a kind of a slightly bastardized version of
Not scared of a challenge? I
the
like that.
of the
Wait a
system
sec,
that they had
I'll
in
tell
Star
you where to
Wars,
begin.
where you could have your like droids on your ship go and do things. Except these, you send them on time-gated missions. These followers will then build temples to honour you. Yep, you don't just get statues, you get temples. And the more quests they do, the bigger the temples they build. These actually directly influence things like your stats. They influence things within the guild or pantheon layout to be able to get currency. So they have a plethora of implications across the game. It's a whole different subset of the game, and it's pretty essential to be able to do things like even PvP. You get stat bonuses for it that are become essential within PvP, and it's crazy. The amount of different stats within the game can be a little overwhelming at times, which is certainly why at some stages, possibly, I don't think we're going to see it, but more definitive tutorials would be great sometimes, but it's just something you have to bear with. If you've ever been through an MMO in the old days where tutorials were just didn't happen, then you'll know where you're coming from.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and drop group again.
There you go.
It's a bonus 3x right now for the mission that we got to do next.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
And it's red.
Oh,
For you,
that
it's
sword
different
is
for
sad.
It's a different color for everybody that can go on it,
Actually, I don't even know what mine is.
Well, that's just lame.
which makes it even more confusing.
I would accept this, except my mouse cursor has decided to disappear.
Oh, that's weird.
Soren, are you the same Soren that played on Kyrios in Arcade?
Yeah.
You might have died to her.
I was such a mean person in
I
Arcade. Oh,
might need another invite again.
yeah, Factory 501's blue, but it's 2 times for me. Yeah, most of my arcade tunes nowadays are just on Taeyang.
You
No, I have
climbed
left the
that.
group.
No, come on, everyone. What's wrong with this thing?
Did you guys break stuff?
A little bit.
Oh, well played, well played.
I'm just a total noob, that's all.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything.
Come on guys, we got 3 minutes to make this work.
Well, that's the thing. If you go into the instance before that timer is up, even if the timer expires, you are still playing towards that reward that you went in for.
Right, but we gotta go in.
Worked.
So 501 is soloable quite easily if you guys are stuck and it's not cooperating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I've
you're like
lost
going...
count number of times I've done this bloody instance.
I know, hey, you're just like, oh man. That
Wonder-
one and Port Nonori is just like, ah.
How could I know?
Especially
This
if you
is
met,
a-
because everyone's just like, let's just spam it.
This is the one that reminds me of Ratchet and Clank.
Definitely.
Oh, heck yeah.
Actually, these little oculate things remind me of the scanners from Half-Life.
Yes.
Or Half-Life 2, actually.
Yes, they do. Now, there's a game I haven't played in ages.
screen, Alora says hi.
Well, Alora is probably not watching, but I shall say hello back for me.
Well, they can hear you, so.
In that
Yep,
case then...
Scrappy
oh.
UK.
Scrappy said to say hi for her. Or him, I don't know. Oh, Soren, I'm sorry. Alora says hi to Soren.
Well, in that case, then I say hi back.
Soren gets all the groupies. Jeez.
Wow.
I am loved.
I'm sorry, Screen.
You get him. That's alright, Soren's got the plus stats, it's fine. You get the statue, Nick. Nobody likes me, it's fine. The chat's just berating us at the moment, that's all.
It's like if I could get Twitch to load, I could actually see the chat, but sometimes it just does not want to cooperate.
I just actually paused the stream and watched the chat.
That's actually not half bad idea.
And now if you go to gsch.info/SOEA, it'll pull you up to a little page that actually has a chat right there in it.
So, the only active person in chat is Scrappy UK right now, so it's not like it's a bunch of stuff scrolling up and down. It's quite easy for me to read and translate.
That's a bit harsh. His English isn't that bad. And hey, you should be playing the stream. Every view counts, man.
I'm hosting this stream on mine also. I have 150 followers.
Nice.
I don't think anybody's in there though, because I don't think it announces it when you just host someone.
I'm such a Twitch newbie. I managed to stream a couple of the Guild Wars betas, but nothing beyond that. Usually I make Keenan to do all our crazy tech shenanigans.
I was lucky / unlucky enough to stream the World v World beta. It's just gone.
Nice.
Lucky
What
in
side
that
were you on?
I was in Doc's side.
You guys like totally rolled us super hard.
No, we didn't. That was Reina's side.
Or was it Rena's side? Oh, I just remember we got smushed.
All that happened with Doc's commander tag got repeatedly smushed by Reina's team and then kept going back to spawn, and I raged a lot.
I know so far from watching, Fog likes to be an up close and personal, I'm going to be a light binder in your face.
Oh, well, is there any other way?
Apparently, Yo is the preferred tactic for Rain.
I'm just making sure they see my suit.
Is that what it is? I don't know, I like the suit that is on my character or Scranger's.
Thankfully, Faction 501 is pretty much, you can pretty much mindlessly just bash your way through this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a very good intro to kind of what's going on.
I like how not a single one of us chose a skin that looks like armor.
Make sure you click on that panel back there.
Because it's overrated, Fog.
The best armor is professional armor, which is a suit.
What panel are you talking?
There was one of the little red panels that you had to activate. I don't know what it does. I just know you're supposed to do them.
It creates an electric field on the floor.
Oh, okay.
I quite like that not very far through this mission. This set of missions, when you do the class training, you can get all the class armors. I think I spent about a good couple of hours going through all different and trying different classes out just to get all their armors.
You can't.
Oh yeah, guilty. I'm currently running around in a monk's outfit.
I can't really change my main character's outfit because his name is Saint Nick and he looks like Santa Claus. So he has a suit on with velvet red pants and a white shirt.
So basically, you are buying into at least Christmas when you can get that outfit out of cash store.
Yes.
That won't help you. You will.
I'm being
pay
told I'm
for
supposed to kill
that.
Stranger Eddie.
You don't stand a chance. I can keep summoning mechanoids
hate
until
that.
you fall.
That's what she
I
said.
can deal with Ed's fine. Ed's one.
That's totally what she
I
said.
was like, I would never do that to you.
She's like, he hates it.
I'm just following chat's orders. To a certain
It's
percent.
too late. You cannot.
So what makes you not
death.
enjoy that part of the name that much? Does it seem
I'm
childish?
just like, yeah, it's just certain groups of people used to call me in school Eddie, and it's just like, I associate it with those groups of people. Therefore, it just really, I just dislike it.
We didn't get what we needed to from the warehouse.
It's at the very bottom of the stairs where you fight that first big bad guy. So like, go down the stairs, fight the first mobs, then go down the stairs again, and it's underneath.
They already hit F and completed.
Okay, go back in. You can solo it.
We all need
going
to.
back in.
It's, you know, the first boss that was downstairs, it's on a box behind him.
So good, we did it twice.
Don't worry, I did that so many times with my main character because stuff doesn't stand out enough sometimes. So go
Yeah.
find this. I haven't seen it yet, so maybe it's further on. Then you finish it and you're like, I didn't see it.
Pretty sure I did Ardos Monastery about 7 times before I realized I kept running past the thing I was supposed to grab.
Yeah, it can be a little bit. Where is this?
Down here.
Very bottom.
I'm the same way with Timmy. My name's Tim, and people I associate with the name Timmy from my grandparents
I
or...
honestly thought you meant you couldn't find Timmy.
No, people... That and Timmy from South Park, my family likes to just scream that at me every once in a while.
I'm kind of the same way, because I'm Amanda, and my eye twitches when people call me Mandy. I'm just like, no.
Yeah, fuck, you gotta run down. I saw that.
I'm already
And
down there.
The one thing I don't like is the teleport. A lot of times it says path not found. I'm teleporting. Why do I have a path?
Just make it so.
It's magic, right? Just put me there.
It's magic.
Always
it's
have
technology.
more fun with portals.
Alright. We done here?
Yep.
We done here.
We'll have to reform the group again.
Now come back and talk to Flavio. Flavio,
So
whatever his
flamboyant.
name. Yep, go talk to him again. He makes me feel dumb sometimes.
Oh, he really, yeah.
I'm just
he likes
like,
to diminish people.
Flavio.
It reminds me of Fabio for some reason when you say that name.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty sure that's what I actually read it as the first time I was going through.
I need a character for this action. Okay.
Oh, yeah, some of your attacks that you normally do stuff with, it won't let you do it unless you have an enemy around.
No, that was inviting to a group.
Oh, interesting. I like that one.
Ooh, we have a group again.
Fog, what are you streaming quality at, hertz-wise? People are having issues with latency or lagging on the stream.
Hey,
I
Ian?
did the, just recommended settings is what I had it set up to. But sometimes I find that it just freezes like that. I don't know why. And other people say that it doesn't, but others do.
It doesn't for me, but I have a good internet.
Well, also Twitch is still based on Flash, which is pretty much being thrown under the rug. You can tune into gsch.info/YouTube and have the YouTube version, which doesn't lag at all.
Yes, what is it you want? Oh, it's you.
For the days the Flash is gone.
HTML5, I'm just waiting until it takes over.
It's working on it.
It's getting there.
It'll happen.
Oh,
It's
I
gonna
know
happen.
it is, and I cannot wait.
Even
It's so
Firefox
much
is jumping
smoother.
ship now.
Flash is a person that does. I don't want to say hacking, but I know how. Flash is a very bad, very bad source. Same with there's another one, Adobe stuff.
Well, Adobe is Flash.
Okay.
The Microsoft one is equally as bad, though. Silverlight.
Silverlight. Yeah.
Silverlight's horrible. I got rid of that. It was like
Silverlight.
gone.
Supposedly they killed it for 10.
Well, I'm
haven't.
glad they got rid of that for Netflix, because Netflix used to be primarily Silverlight.
I remember that. It was very bad. I would have a lot of errors all the time.
It was.
Alright, let's go ahead and get Soren back in here, and let's go do a battle.
Oh, we're gonna go kill
We're,
stuff?
we're getting close to the end of our show, so I want to take you guys to war.
War
I
is
haven't even
fun.
gotten to see it yet.
It's fun.
I gotta shoot stuff, balls.
Oh dear.
I feel like I should almost be on my other guy, but...
I'm probably way too far ahead.
Oh, hallelujah,
I'd
that's three times red. Let's do
Fine,
it.
I'll bash someone with my Pullman.
To the research base!
Yes, Silverlight still exists, unfortunately.
Oh, group members' levels are too far apart. What?
No! It's probably me.
I'm in 1968.
Hold on, I'll see if I can...
46.
See if I can get
Okay.
myself up there.
Lobies, try to boost your points up.
What do you
So,
got, Tom?
Smitty, don't touch anything.
I'm not touching anything.
Ooh, Smitty might be way
nothing
too
here.
far ahead.
Yeah, I think I might have to drop group for this one and let Soren play through.
Smitty, take off all your rings, see what happens.
I don't think that sends your prestige backwards, though.
It does.
Yes, it does.
It does.
It'll drop. Or Smitty, better yet, just flip to a different class. Flip to something that you haven't used.
Yeah, but then I'll be too low rank.
It won't drop
no,
you
it doesn't.
That far. It'll drop
not
you a
that
couple
far.
hundred, and that's it. Because most of your stuff is based off your talents and your, if I can remember the names of stuff, and your atlas. and stuff
Atlas.
Like that.
Alright, I took off all my rings and I'm at 1621.
Perfect.
I'm at
That's about right.
1576, so I'm probably still too low. I need reds, otherwise I can't go anywhere.
But now
Yeah.
I'm a weakling.
Maybe I'm too high. Let me try taking off my rings.
That's okay, you guys can punt me and I'll just come in solo.
Hang on.
Also, I believe it bumps your prestige if you use your evolution boosters, like Jerome said, and just try and level up your gear slots.
I did, I maxed those. That was the first thing I did.
Still too far apart.
Okay, here, hold on, I'll drop your...
Oh,
Alright, there
Smitty
you
went
go.
back up. I don't know. His prestige still looks high.
Oh, that's right. So it's going to visually drop your prestige for you, but it's going to still count it as what your max was when trying to get going somewhere. So change class and see what happens.
I don't see the prestige ever drop.
It does on his screen, but in party it's not going to. If he was trying to do it solo, it would.
Now it says participants' numbers requirement not met.
You might not be a high enough prestige.
Welcome to Guess the Error message.
Pretty much.
Oh, dear, dear, dear.
I think we need... Yeah,
I just went in. I'm in, so...
Alright, well, hell with it. Everyone break the group apart.
Solo it, people! I'm waiting on 6 people to queue!
I'll see if I can get in. This will be amusing if I don't think I'll get in the same one of 1,000 over you guys.
Oh, probably not.
What are you entering?
The,
in research base? It's on, like, the south part of the globe.
I see. Now this is the issue that we've been talking about earlier with prestige bracketing. Before we came online, we were having a chat about PvP, and PvP in Skyforge at the moment, because the way the prestige is bracketed, because it's an accumulation weighting of essentially power in game, it means it has to be bracketed, because otherwise you're going to have people with massive amounts of power and massive amounts of unlocks and better gear against people that are essentially lowbies. Problem being, it splits up the player base, and right now with the way the bracketing splits up the player base, it can take some time to get into PvP. So the next 10 minutes of the game might just be everyone queuing, or Fog might get straight in. It all depends on how the bracketing works, and quite frankly we've got no visibility of how that bracketing is split up, I believe, within PvP. That's not been revealed to us.
It's something that the player base has asked for, but we haven't seen anything yet.
A lot of the data in this game is hidden, unfortunately, and that causes a lot of issues.
See, now I just got obliterated by a person who's got over 2,000.
It's the bracket that you're slotted in.
Well, I just got in, and I'm 2,700. I'm gonna laugh from the same one.
I'm probably too low, so I'm probably gonna be queued for forever.
Yeah, I'm still queued as well.
Screenager Scrappy UK said goodnight.
Good night, mate. I didn't see you saying that, but you have a good night / morning. I'll be going to work in about an hour.
I will be going to take my contacts out in 10 minutes.
I think I maybe played about PvP twice in Skyforge, just because of the waiting time, which is probably the biggest thing. That's why I don't see Skyforge as a game right now that I would play as my primary MMO. Mostly because I tend to play PvP a lot, and things like more competitive game modes. I like it as a single player or a grouped PvE game I can drop into as and when I like, do something, have some progression, move on. I'm not feeling like I'm playing it primarily as PvE game for the story content, because I think right now story content is still a little bit janky. Some of the translations are a bit iffy still, but as it stands, I play it to play something with people. I'm with the people that I like to play with. So my fiance sits beside me. We'll sit and play that. We'll run an instance for an hour or a couple of instances, and be done with it, and that's it. It's nice. Drop in, drop out. It's heavily instances. Great like that. There's plenty of content to unlock. Like Fog will be going through. Has just gone through the Ascension Atlas. There's loads of stuff to unlock there. There's going to be lots of probably cosmetic stuff to unlock. So there's going to be loads to do. But in terms of PvP, I don't really realistically think most people at this stage are going to see PvP until near the end game. If you're in a Pantheon and they get involved in the Pantheon Wars, which involves PvP, which will match up and you won't have to wait in these really weird bracketed queues that take forever to pop. And in terms of that, in terms of things like its combat, its progression system, the way that you consume. I think one of its biggest plus size is the way that you consume content within this. Very similar to ESO. In some ways it's a little less refined, in other ways it's a lot easier to approach, and I feel that makes this certainly a really good game that you can play casually with other people for short bursts of time, consume content and then move on. I don't know how everyone else feels about it, but that's certainly been my approach with Skyforge.
Yeah, I'm about the same as you. I like the PvP. I didn't get to do very much of it during the betas, but when I did get in, it was a lot of fun. But for the most part, I see this as kind of like a drop in, drop out. There's lots of stuff that I really do like. As a PvEer, won't be my main, that's for sure, but I do enjoy it.
So unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to show you the PvP tonight. We will be streaming this again for sure during the Streams of Epic Adventure Extra Life event special. That happens in November. If you're interested, head over to gsch.info/extralife, and that will take you to our Extra Life page. I will be updating it with quite a bit of information. I'm trying to do a full lineup of games this year. We're planning on doing 24 hours divided up into 12-hour slots. We're going to play 12 different games for 2 hours apiece over those 2 days, and we'll have that whole lineup here soon. We're also planning on giving away some raffle prizes to the people that are watching and also participating with us. So if you're interested in that, definitely stay tuned. You can also see the gsch.info site for more information on all of our events that we're doing. And then, as always, you can follow the Streams of Epic Adventures by going to gsch.info/SOEA. Also, you can tweet to GoshGip, and I will be happy to respond to you. Thank you all for tuning in. This is Foglata saying good night. Say good night, everyone.
See you guys.
Good night, guys.
Good morning. I love it. So we'll see you guys on the other side. Next week we are going to be in
Warframe.
Yeah, Warframe. Yeah, ninjas. So definitely stay tuned for that.
My life.
That will be our last Streams of Epic Adventure at 8 o'clock. Come August, we are moving this show earlier in the night or morning for Screenager. So if this is like, yeah, about that, it's going to be like 3 hours earlier. 2 hours earlier. Yeah, pretty much 6 to 8.
No sleep.
So poor Screenager. If we drag him into another one, we were planning on dragging him into the Wildstar episode, and if we do that, then he's going to have to wake up like at 2 a.m. or something of that nature.
It could happen.
Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. And thank you so much, Screenager, for joining us tonight. It was a pleasure.
It's a pleasure as always, everyone.
Any closing words for people?
Remember, have your pets spayed and neutered.
Potatoes. Oh, no, wait, that's Irish.
Pew pew.
QQ? Pew pew.
Pew pew.
Get out of the poo. Get out of the poo.
That's a great one for raids.
Yes. And always remember, don't auto run with your map open. Have a good night, everyone.